180. What would the angle of a straight line be? Think of your protractor. It starts at 0 and goes all the way to 180. So the angle of a straight line is always 180. So the first theory is called supplementary angles. So which means you have a straight angle over here, and you have a random line that separates both the angles. Yeah. Well,
say no.
For this one, you kind of have to because I can't put everything on it. So when it comes to these supplementary angles, both angle A and angle B, they have to add up to 180 to make that straight angle. So I'll give you guys an example. So I'm going to draw a random line over here. Let's say this angle is 130. So what would this angle X have to be? Let me go. 50. Not 150, just 50. That's okay. Because the angle of that straight line has to add up to 180. So both those angles need to add up to 180. So the easiest way to do is X is equal to 180 minus 30, or minus 130, sorry, which equals 250 degrees.
Oh, this is not a straight line.
So that's 50 degrees.
Hold on, I'm copying this down.
This is I'll give an example for each one. That way it's easier for you to follow.
Attends.
You got a leg rest today.
2. I need an eraser. Where's the one that I chalked?
It's just there.
Coordinated eraser.
So Sophia, I'm not going to scroll down. You'll still be able to see it.
Wait, don't scroll.
It says you're going to still be able to see it.
Too bad. Hold on. Too bad. Because I need to pay attention to the lesson.
Leave her.
Oh, shut
As soon as you leave.
I wrote for you yesterday.
Hold on, you're going to have to wait till after.
I don't want to watch it.
Huh?
Okay, so now there's something called complementary angle theory, where you have a line that makes a 90-degree angle, and then you just have a random line that separates both those angles. Okay? Yeah, no, it's not. Let's not talk about graphs anymore.
Are we done?
Graphs are done. That's it.
Oh, that's just how you.
So we have both of these angles. I have an angle B and an angle A. Because it makes a right angle, both angle A and angle B, when added up together, have to be 90 degrees. So let's take another example. So let's say I have this guy right here, and I'm going to draw my angle, which is over here. Let's say this angle right here is 40 degrees, and then I have to find this angle here, which is X. So because they have to add up to 90 degrees, Kobo, the only one that makes sense is 50 degrees. You do that by taking X is equal to 90 minus 40, which gives me 50 degrees. And ironically, it's the same answer as the first one.
I think he did not on purpose.
I did.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Oh. Huh. Why? Hold on.
Yeah. I'm going to introduce it probably next week.
Introduce what?
The annoying CPT.
Can we just not do it?
Hey, what are we actually
Isn't it a side?
Okay, so next theorem.
Hold on, attends.
You have to wait. So for the next theorem, it's called opposite angles. So that means angles that are opposite from each other. So opposite means across. So if they're across from each other, they're the same angle. Yeah. So for example, angle A and angle B, they are the same. And then angle C, and angle D are the same. Holy, give me my color. So now I'll draw you guys an example. So say I have these lines intersecting. Let's say this is 45 degrees. This is, hold on. No, it has to make sense in my head.
It has to what?
Where's my calculator? No, that's fine.
So it has to equal 360.
Yeah.
Oh. So it
Okay. So I have X and I have Y. So based off the opposite angle theory, what should angle Y equal to? 45. It's opposite. Okay. So angle Y is going to be 45. Kobo, what's angle X going to be?
135.
Yeah. 135. So when they're opposite from each other, when they're across, they're going to be the same. And like we said before, all the angles in a triangle all add up to 180. We agree with this, so that's nothing new. Does anyone know what all the angles of a square add up to?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
What?
Wait.
Wouldn't it be 360?
I was gonna say that.
Yep. What are the angles of a five-sided shape equal to?
Me. I can't even pick. Me.
Wait, sir, why'd you write X and Y?
Wait, I can figure this out.
Pardon?
Why?
Oh, I just wrote X and Y because those are the angles you're finding. So angle X, remember it's equal to angle 135 because it's across.
72.
And
Oh,
angle
but
Y.
X is always the one where it's C and D.
Yep.
So X is like this and Y is like that. Oh, this is how it is.
Yeah. But I can label angles whatever letters I want. It can be X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D.
No, but I'm saying. So it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter what the letter is. As long as it's across from it, it's the same angle.
Oh.
You're just overthinking.
Was I right?
I don't know. Were you right?
I don't know. As I'm asking you, you're a bad teacher.
I don't know. I forgot the question. Okay.
I don't know the
So we know that the sum of interior angles is 180. So all those angles have to add up to 180. So let's say if angle B is 65 degrees, I put 650, that would have been terrible. And angle A is 81. How do I find angle C?
Wait.
You add them together and then try to find out what to add.
Yep. You're close. So how did you do that, Aaron?
65 plus 81 is
Mhm.
equal to 146, and
Yep.
then you do 180 minus
Yep.
146.
So when you have two angles given and you're finding the missing one, for example, in this case, angle C, you have to take the sum of all of the angles, which is 180, and subtract it from the angles you've been given. So you have to take 180, subtract 81, subtract 65. And Aaron, can you tell me what the answer was again? 34 degrees. So remember, whenever you're finding the missing angle in a triangle, you're taking the total of 180 and subtracting from the two angles that you already have.
So would 180 be the of both?
180 is the sum of all of the angles. Yes.
Oh.
And then, we have like
I'm always going to give you the angle. So protractors do not exist anymore to you guys.
Forever?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
The protractor. You know that little semicircle thing that had the
Don't
angles?
explain what a protractor is.
No,
She's
I
great that. She should know what a protractor is.
Ah.
Quiet.
didn't. You know
Maybe you should open those small ears.
Ay. All right. So the next one is an isosceles triangle. So do you guys remember what an isosceles triangle is?
Yes.
What is it?
It is a triangle with two equal points.
Yeah. So when we have an isosceles triangle, the two bottom angles are always going to be the same. Okay? So if this is 45, this also has to be 45. I'm just giving an example. This doesn't make sense here because the top angle is not a right angle. So now with an isosceles triangle, if you're given one angle, it has to be the top one. Because I'll show you right now. So let's say we have my isosceles triangle. And you'll notice it's an isosceles triangle when you have these little dashes on the two sides. So if I say this angle over here is 60, how do you think I'm going to find these two angles over here?
Me.
Let me go.
Okay, so you're gonna
Just subtract 180 from
60 from 180,
from 180.
and then divide that.
There we go. So to find angle A and B, you're going to take 180 and subtract it by 60, which is 120, correct?
60. What? Wait.
Yeah, this happened to be 60. Be quiet. Okay, I'm just giving an example. So, yeah, I picked numbers. Okay, let me pick a different number. Let's say this is 50. 50. Because I like the number 50.
What is happening now? Say it 5.
Yeah. So, like Kobo and Miguel said, you're going to take 180, subtract 50. Yeah, in this case, you will. And you can leave it as a decimal. You don't have to leave it as a fraction anymore. So 180 minus 50 is 130. Because angle A and angle B are the same, I can just divide it by 2. So what's 130 divided by 2?
65.
Thank you. Which means angle A is 65. Which means angle B also has to be 65. Because it's an isosceles triangle.
Did I do this the opposite? I think I just confused the triangles. Because I was copying down this note. Actually, it doesn't matter. Why did you give me out of nowhere? Okay, just be feeding.
Je suis bon. There we go.
Why'd you put 50 there?
Okay, so now we have the exterior angle sum of a triangle. So the sum of the angles outside of a triangle are always going to be 360 degrees. Okay? The reason why is because they're all obtuse angles. That's the reason why. And then the last one here is exterior angle theorem. The acronym is EAT. I didn't know that was a thing. And trust me, guys, I do not have all of these things memorized. I just go based off the pattern and what it is.
Facts.
All right.
You know when people shoot a gun like that?
So the last thing is each exterior angle is equal to the sum of the remote interior angles. So angle Z, which is this guy over here, is equal to angle X plus angle Y.
So basically, see this?
Yeah, because it's fun. The way
You know what this
yeah,
says?
you're just bad.
All right, so what this theorem is saying over here is that this angle Z should be equal to angle Y, which is this guy over here, plus angle X. And they labeled it wrong because Z should be, I think it should be out here. That's what it should be. Because if you think about it, Z is an acute angle. You have an obtuse angle plus an acute angle, so it's going to give you more of an obtuse angle. So I think they labeled the diagram wrong over here.
What if you use the supplementary angle here?
You can.
on X,
You can do that.
But then when you get the inside Z,
If you get the inside Z, you can get the outside Z using 180 minus the inside Z. So it's fine. You can literally get angle Z in a variety of ways.
Oh. I need to work on my drama, Mr. Sturgeon.
So now we're gonna get into patterns. You guys probably know the patterns from before, like the Z pattern, the C pattern, the F pattern. So the alternate angle pattern, which is the Z pattern. So if I draw a Z, literally draw a Z. So when I draw that Z, I should really pick a different color. So this is my Z.
Purple.
No, I'm doing red.
Purple.
Red.
No.
Okay. So the Z pattern states that angle 3, which is over here, and angle 5, which is right here, should be equal to each other.
Because they're across from each other.
Because if you think about it, a Z makes an acute angle here and also makes an acute angle here. So they should be the same to each other.
Shut the fuck up.
Sir, language.
Sorry. Silence your mouth.
We also have a backward Z, which if we go from here to here, also should state that angle 2 and angle 8 are also the same angle. Yep. And now we have something called the F pattern. So do you guys remember what the F pattern is?
Yeah.
Okay.
The what?
So the F pattern, so if we have these lines over here, what do you think you're going to draw when you have an F pattern?
An F.
Letter F.
Oh, I'm crazy.
So you can draw an F going this way. So this is an F right here, the red line.
What? Okay, but
Can't you see? It's an F. So I'm going to label again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 7, 6. So with the F pattern, it states that angle 1, which is up here, and angle 5 are the same. Angle numero 6 and angle 2 are the same. And if you draw backwards F, angle 4 and angle 8 are the same, and angle 3 and angle 7 are the same. So all you really need to know is the Z, the F, and the C pattern, and that's it.
Oh,
Okay, and the last pattern we have is our C pattern. So again, I'm going to draw those lines again. So when I have a C pattern, what do you think I'm going to draw? A C. Whoa, I drew that wrong. Damn it. So this is what the C would look like in a C pattern. So what the C pattern is stating is that when I have angle 2 and angle 5, those two angles should add up to 180. So for the C pattern, those two angles that are contained in the C, those have to add up to 180.
So are you just
Pardon? Well, no, I'm just labeling I have to assign them the degrees, right? They're not in degrees. So I'll give you an example. So let's say I have my C pattern over here. So let's say this is 110. What should that angle be at the bottom? 70. So X is going to be 180 minus 110, which is 70 degrees, because those two angles have to add up to 180. And if I draw the C pattern, I get a C shape. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it for today. So I'm gonna post the worksheet up on the board because it's like very not